Hi students, so this is our new lesson, mechanical properties of solids. First of all, if you consider the matter can be divided into three types. So these are solids, liquids and gases. In general, liquids and gases together can also be called as fluids because both liquids and gases have the property of flowing from one place to another place or one point to another point. But now if you take the solids, what is the difference between the solids, liquids and gases? First of all, solids have fixed volume as well as a definite shape. Now, if you take this duster has a fixed volume. How to measure the volume of this duster? Length of this one, width of this one, height of this one. If you know all these three quantities, just to multiply length with breadth with height, you will get the volume of this solid. So, the volume is fixed here. At the same time, we can say that it has a definite shape. So, it has a rectangle shape here, and here also it has a groove this side as well as groove this side, and this is also a flat surface, and this side it has this type of shape. But together it is a cuboid with the two grooves on both sides. So, it has a definite shape. But what about the liquids? Liquids have fixed volume only, but they take the shape of the container in which they are filled. Suppose if you fill water in a glass, so it will get a shape of that glass only. If you fill this water in a jar, it will get the shape of the jar. So it has fixed volume, but it has no definite shape. Shape changes. Shape depends on shape of container in which they are filled. That means what we can say, they have fixed volume, but the shape is not fixed there. Now, what about the gases? They do not have fixed volume as well as they do not have a definite shape. So, this is the classification of matter on the basis of that volume and shape. Now, how to change the shape of a solid? Is it possible or not? How to increase the volume of this one as it is fixed? Can we increase this one? Yes, it is possible. Even we can increase the volume of a solid also by doing something. So either by applying mechanical force or by applying thermal force also. Suppose if you heat a rod, iron rod, we know that the volume of the rod will increase. Lengthwise it will increase, area wise it will increase, as well as the total volume of the iron rod will increase. So even though it has fixed volume, by applying some forces, we can change this volume and also we can change the shape. Now here, what is the reason behind this particular or fixed volume for a solid or a liquid or a gas? So all this matter has intermolecular forces. Now let me take a solid because this is the mechanical properties of solids. So here I am going to consider solids first, and the next lesson we are going to discuss about the fluids, that is mechanical properties of fluids. There we are going to discuss about the liquids as well as gases, and then we will continue our discussion only on the gases in thermal properties of gases, thermal properties of matter. Now here, as we are going to discuss only about the solids in this lesson, in solids, let us say this is a molecule, this is another molecule, and this is one more molecule. So molecules are separated, and we know that in a solid these are arranged in a particular order. Now in between these molecules, these are the molecules of a solid, there exists a force of attraction, there exists an attraction here. So just like I am denoting this attractive force with the help of a spring. So let us say these are not, springs are not present in a solid, just I am denoting these springs as the force between these two So this is another spring. So every molecule will have a force which is called intermolecular force. The properties exhibited by the solids, liquids and gases depends on this intermolecular forces. Now, what are these intermolecular forces and what are the effect of these intermolecular forces on the solids, liquids and as well as gases? Here, suppose if you take a block here, solid block. Now, if you stretch this one, that means if you apply some force on this one, what happens? If it is a rigid body, generally this rigid body will move down. If you apply force not at the center of mass, somewhere here. So, if you hold it at this side, it will rotate about this point. This is rotational motion. Let us say this is not a rigid body, let us say it is a soft body. Now, soft body means just like this wool here. So, I am taking this cloth. Now, if I take this body and if I apply force here, what is happening here? It is rotating as well as the shape of the body is changing. But already I told you, solids have a definite shape. When? If no forces are acting on it, it will have definite shape and fixed volume. If any force is acting, the volume may change, the shape may change. Now, here, when I am applying force here, the shape of this cloth is changing. Now, similarly, this is called why it is changing its shape. Initially, to have the shape, the molecules inside this solid will have this type of arrangement within this one. This is called formation of the matter inside this one. So now, when these molecules are formed in a particular shape, I am deforming it. So this force which is used to change the shape of the body is called a deforming force. So this is a deforming force. So that force which is deforming these molecules will be deformed. So they have a fixed position. So when a force is applied, let us say it bend like this. Due to the bending, the molecules will change their position. So now the molecules will change their position. So the blue color one are the first configuration. That means arrangement of molecule in a particular order is called configuration. So here what happened? Due to this applied force, we call it as a deforming force. The configuration of the molecules will change. So whenever the configuration changes, configuration means the particular arrangement of molecules in a body. So remember this point, configuration means particular arrangement, orderly arrangement, particular orderly arrangement of molecules. So when the force is applied, the particular orderly arrangement of molecules will change here. So due to this, we call this as a deformation takes place inside this body. Now here also, if you observe this one, when the molecules are separated by some distance, this distance between these two is called intermolecular distance. So this I am denoting this with a letter. Let me take this as R0. So here R0 is the intermolecular distance. R0 is intermolecular distance. Now, here, if we apply some force on this one, on a particular molecule here, on this particular molecule, when a force is applied on this one F, what happens? The distance between these two molecules will decrease. Let us say this is fixed here. Let us say it moves up to this point. When the distance decreases, then there exists a force which will bring this molecule from here to here. That means this molecule will move up to here by the application of force, but due to the restoring force developed between these two molecules, that force, restoring force, is also called a intermolecular force. This will go back to its original position. So this is force which is acting in the opposite to the applied force is called a restoring force. Now, that means whenever a substance is pressed, that means in a solids, I am talking only about the solids, on a solid if I apply some force, generally molecules will not allow this force to dominate on them. They will try to resist that force. So they won't move that much easily. But if the force is too large, then this molecule will move. At the same time, a restoring force will be developed here. So it will come back to its original position. Now here, you see, if you take this one, if you press it, that means I am applying force on this one. So the configuration of the body has changed. If I release this one, slowly restoring force will be developed here, and this cloth will regain its original shape and size. Now similarly, if I bend like this, the configuration has changed. Now if I release this one, slowly it will gain this original shape and size. So if the body is unable to regain its original shape and size, then it is called plastic body. That will come, I will explain later. Now here, whenever force is applied, when R naught decreases, a force will develop here which will increase the distance between these two molecules. So when the applied force is greater than the force of this one, now here what I am going to write, the intermolecular distance R naught, if it is R, if R less than R naught, if the distance between these two molecules is R only, less than R naught, then these two repulse with each other. These two repulse with each other. So which type of force will be developed there? Repulsive force. If the distance between the two molecules is less than a fixed value, this is called intermolecular distance, then a repulsive force will develop, and due to the repulsive force, this molecule will go to its original position. Suppose if R greater than R naught, now if you pull this molecule in this direction, if you pull it with some force, that means let us say this molecule reached this point. Now this is R dash. If R dash greater than R naught, that means more than the intermolecular distance, then this molecule will try to go back. That means a attractive force will be developed here. Please remember this too. If the distance between the two molecules in a solid is less than the intermolecular distance, a repulsive force will be developed between the two molecules to regain the original position. Why? Because these molecules, they are not constantly at rest. Even though I am denoting this with a spring here, but here these molecules are not constantly present at that particular position only. These molecules will have three types of motions. One is, these molecules will have, see, the molecules inside a solid will have, number one, translatory motion, number two, rotatory motion, and number three, vibratory motion. These molecules will move in a straight line, can move along a straight line, or can rotate about its own axis, or they can vibrate like this. Now, if you take these two, then what about this R naught? If it is vibrating, if it is moving, then R naught is not fixed. But generally, if it is one molecule, this is second molecule, let us say these are the two fixed positions of this one, they will vibrate about their mean position. So like this. So while vibrating, at any point if you stop, so they will have a fixed R naught value. Let us say it is rotating, they are rotating like this, vibrating like this, and moving like this. So at any point, generally they will have a fixed intermolecular distance between these two. Even if the system moves like this and it is going like this, then also these two molecules will maintain that R naught. Not exactly constant, it also depends upon the temperature of the surroundings or temperature of that body. If temperature is less, R naught will be less. If you increase the temperature, then due to thermal agitation, due to the energy gained by that heat energy, they will try to move away from each other. That's why generally bodies expands on heating. So whenever R naught increases, they expand because of the distance between these two will increase. Now, whenever it expands, attractive force will there, it will try to keep it this in the particular position or the fixed position. In this, if you consider these two will have a potential energy. In the gravitational lesson, we studied about the potential energy of ground potential energy of the particles in a configuration. So there, the gravitational potential energy is between two particles is given by minus m1 m2 by distance between these two. Now, based on this formula, this will have some potential energy, this will have some potential energy, this will have some potential energy, this will have some potential energy. But this gravitational potential energy in this case is very, very negligible. So this gravitational potential energy is nearly equal to 0 in this case. Why? Because more than that, gravitational potential energy will be developed between these two molecules because of the gravitational force between these two, or because of the masses and the distance between these two. But one more force is also exists between these two. So in this lesson we are calling it as a intermolecular force. So in solids, within these solids, the gravitational force between the molecules will be negligible, but the dominating force here is a intermolecular force. Remember, we know the basic forces in the universe, that is strong nuclear forces, weak nuclear force, gravitational force and electromagnetic force. Here already we studied about the gravitational force in the last lesson. Now here one more force, this is a intermolecular force. In which category this force comes here? So if you observe this one, this is because of the attraction between these two, that's why it is called intermolecular force. So this comes under electromagnetic force. So here the electromagnetic force, or this force is also known as a elastic force. So this is intermolecular force, electromagnetic force, and in this lesson we call it as a elastic force. So work done against any force will be stored as energy. Here also, if we do some work while displacing this molecule, so we are doing some work against the electrostatic force or elastic force in this particular point. So now here this work done will be stored as a elastic potential energy. Now, how this elastic potential energy changes with this distance. So I am going to draw a graph here. Remember, any person will be in stable equilibrium if his potential energy is less. Now, for example, if you keep our earth here, this is our earth, and if you keep a person here at a height h from the surface of earth. Now, if you keep him there, he will not be in equilibrium. 100% he will fall down because no surface is there with him here. If surface is placed somewhere, then the surface will exert a normal force and the weight is acting on the surface. So just like one building. So on a surface of the building, weight is acting downwards and the building is giving an equal and opposite force. So then the person will be equilibrium. Suppose if you keep this person in air, not on a platform, in air, then the person will fall down. Why is falling down? Reason is every person or any body will try to get least potential energy to get stability. He may not be stable there. He will be floating there. If the height is too high, he will be floating in the air. But here, he will fall down on surface of earth, then the potential energy formula mgh, as height is 0 above the surface of earth, his potential energy will be 0. Now, even if you dig a channel here, and if you keep the person here, he will be more stable. That means whenever the potential energy is less, the person will be more stable, or the body is said to be more stable. So please remember, for stability, the condition is potential energy must be least, must be minimum. Now, here, if you see this one, when the molecules are separated by a distance r naught here, this is the r naught, a particular fixed distance, It may change from time to time because of that translatory motion, rotatory motion, vibratory motion, but as an average this molecules will maintain this value for a long period of time. Now here if you bring this molecule here, so this will be R. So what is this? If R less than R naught, they repulse with each other. If R greater than R naught, if you move this one this side, then these two attract with each other. So I am going to draw the same diagram here. So now this is the potential energy with the distance R. So it is found that the graph will come like this. So what is the meaning of this graph? In this graph, this is the point where the potential energy is, this is 0, this is a positive potential energy and this is a negative potential energy. As we discussed earlier, the potential energy is always negative. Why? Because we are doing some work against that force. Here in this case we did some work against the gravitational force. In this case we are going to do some work against the elastic force. So against the force, that's why potential energy is negative. You see this graph, the entire graph is below the x-axis. That means potential energy cannot be positive at all. Potential energy is always negative. So what is this point? This is the point P on the graph and this distance is known as R naught. So at R naught distance, so this is the R naught distance, the potential energy is minimum. That means whenever potential energy is minimum, we know that it will have the maximum stability. So why they maintain this R naught? Just now I told you, let us say these are the two molecules, if they are vibrating about their mean position and moving. So always they will try to maintain that R naught value in any configuration. Why? Because if they maintain that R naught, that substance will be stable, it will get the stability. Just like if you take this duster, the molecules inside this one are not at rest now. They are moving along a straight line. They have this more translated motion and these molecules are rotating about themselves or about some other molecules and they are vibrating. Still they maintain this minimum distance between them to get the stability. If they are not maintain this one, then these molecules can come out of this duster. The shape of the duster will not be fixed there if they come out. But all these solids will maintain this definite shape because they want to have stability, and to get stability the potential has to be minimum. To have minimum potential energy, the distance between the molecules should be equal to that R naught. So by maintaining that R naught, the potential energy will be minimum and they will have stability. Now what happens if the distance decreases? Let us say this point here, this is R. So just like this, if you move this molecule up to here, now this R is less than R naught. So whenever that R decreases, you see potential energy will increase. Here let us say minus 20 joules, this is minus 15 joules. Minus 15 means when compared to minus 20, minus 15 is more. So whenever potential energy increases, same thing, when potential energy increases, they will have less stability. Similarly, even if you increase the distance here, let us say this is R dash. If you increase the distance between these two also, this is R dash, then also potential energy will become more. So in both cases, if R decreases or R increases, that is distance between the two molecules decreases or increases, every time the potential energy is increasing, that means they won't get the stability. That's why all these molecules will try to get the stability by maintaining that intermolecular distance R naught as a fixed value. Now similarly, based on this one, if you want to draw the graph for force and distance, here I am going to draw the relation between force and distance. So what type of graph you are going to get? So this is the force graph, this is the distance. Now let us say this is R naught. So now you can see a graph can be drawn like this. What is the meaning of this graph here at the edge? Here, if R increases to a large value, the potential energy is negative, nearly equal to 0 but not equal to 0. So, where this graph is going to touch the x-axis or distance axis. So, at infinity, when R is equal to infinity, the potential energy will become 0. Now, similarly here also this force will become 0 to maximum in this one. So, this is R naught. You see, when the distance between these two molecules is exactly R naught, what is the force? This is the force. So, force is 0. That means when R is equal to R naught, there is no intermolecular force. So, they will be at rest. So, they will be in their exact positions. But if you decrease this distance here by moving this molecule from here to here, so what happens? These two repels. So, now if it decreases, the force is positive. Remember students, positive force is nothing but repulsive force. Positive force is always repulsive force. And now, if you increase the distance, if R increases, let us say this is R dash, now force is negative. Negative force is attractive force. Why it is negative? Negative force is attractive. Now, actually it is not in our syllabus. We are going to learn this concept in a second PUC, but already you might have studied this in lower classes. We know that if you take a positive charge here and positive charge here, these two will repel with each other. So, what is the force between these two? The force between these two is given by Coulomb's law, which is similar to the law that we have studied in gravitation. So, in gravitation we have used this one, capital G m1 m2 by r square. The electric force between two charges is given by some constant k into q1 q2 by r square, both are same. This is a universal gravitational constant, this is a electrostatic constant, product of masses, product of charge, square of distance, square of distance. Now, if both are positive, what is F value? F will be k into product of the charges. First one is plus q, second one is also plus q. So, what is force here? Plus into plus plus only. So, this is positive force. Positive force means, already I told you, these two repels with each other. Now, that's why positive force is a repulsive force. Remember this one. Now, if one of the charge is made negative here, let us say this is negative. Now, what is the force between these two molecules? So, this F dash is going to be k into minus q into plus q by r square. So, what is the force here? This force will be plus into minus will be negative. So, negative force means this is always attractive. The same thing can be seen in this case also. When force, this distance decreases, force is repulsive. Distance decreases, force is repulsive. So, to keep this body in this position, force must be repulsive. If distance increases more than r naught, then force is attractive. If distance is more, force is attractive here. So, this is positive force, this is a negative force here. Sorry. Here, when these two distance is decreasing, so when the distance decreases, repulsive force, this is positive force, and because above this axis this is positive force, below this axis this is negative force. So, this is negative force. Due to these intermolecular forces, generally solids can be divided into two types. One are elastic bodies, second one is non-elastic or also called plastic bodies. First of all, what is this elasticity? The property by virtue of which the body or bodies regain its original shape or size after the removal of deforming force. So, what is this deforming force? Already we studied about deforming force in this class. Now, if you take this body, so this is having some configuration. Fixed configuration means the relative positions of the molecules are fixed in this one. Now, if you apply some force here, the body will bend like this. So after removing this force, if body regains original shape as well as size, then that property is called elasticity. So if you take rubber is a very good elastic material. This is an example for elasticity. Now what about plasticity or non-elasticity? We call it as a plastic bodies or plasticity. The property by virtue of which bodies do not regain their original shape and size after the removal of deformation force. Whenever this force is removed from this one, if it regains original shape, that is elastic bodies. If it bends in that position, if they continue that shape or size or configuration, then the body is said to be non-elastic body or plastic body. The best example for this one is putti or this wheat flour or atta.